Hey Scorpios, welcome to your winter solstice reading where we're going to take a peek at what might be ahead for you over the next 3 months. So jumping right in, we're going to pull a couple of oracle cards to see what energy is surrounding this reading for you. And the first card that we have out for you is Intention, Behind a Mask. And let's pull another and see what other energies are surrounding my Scorpio collective for their winter solstice season between now and early March of 2023. And what we have for you is new moon in Sagittarius. Luck is on your side. Okay, so for my Scorpios out there, there's something right now that seems to be hidden. It could be you. It could be an opportunity. It could be someone else. But there's something right now that is being kept from you. With luck is on your side, it feels as though there is going to be a little bit of a quickening moment where that mask slips. And I don't feel like it's necessarily a bad thing. Whatever is being hidden behind this mask is something that is in your best interest to know. I don't necessarily feel like this is a situation where you're completely aware that something is being hidden from you, but it's almost like a bolt of lightning. It's very much a stroke of luck that you see this mask slip, and whatever it is that's been behind it is going to be revealed. And I feel like that's going to sort of change your trajectory. It's going to change your path a little bit, where it's almost as if like, whoa, did not know that, but now that I do, I need to change the way that I operate. I need to make some adjustments to how I show up in life, how I deal with other people, what I thought my path looked like. Now I feel like it could look completely different. And so I'm not necessarily getting a particularly negative energy off of this. I will say that my stomach is a little bit knotted up, because it's like, what does this even mean right now? Like what's coming towards me? Like, what do I do now? And so it feels like something is going to be revealed to you. And even in that moment, it feels like it's going to be a little bit stressful, like because you didn't particularly see it coming. But ultimately, it feels like it's going to be a good thing that this was revealed to you. So let's get into some tarot and see what other messages we can get. And we're going to start by looking at your winter solstice season as a whole. What's happening? So we start out with the 9 of Cups in reverse. So the 9 of Cups, when it's upright, is typically about happiness. It's almost at sort of that pentacle. It's very close to a 10 of cups, or I should say pinnacle. I've gotten so used to saying pinnacle, but it's almost at that pinnacle of happiness. But, it's not quite there yet. And so I feel like a part of the energy over the next 3 months is going to be a little bit of shock, a little bit of disappointment, because again, whatever this is, I don't think that you saw it coming. Wow, that somersaulted right on out. And we have the 7 of Wands. So the 7 of Wands is very much a defensive card. It's someone who is pushing back. Like if you can see the illustration here, we have, wands here, 6 wands here that are like all sort of poking at this person, and they have a wand in their hand and they're kind of fighting back. So I almost feel as though there is going to be a little bit of some choppy waters that's happening for you over this time period. And I do think that that's related to the revealing of whatever this is, where it's almost as if you're put in a position to have to fight back or sort of defend yourself. And it's, again, because it's not something that you saw coming, it's very much a feeling of like, are you are you serious right now? Like, that's the vibe that I'm getting. Like, I can't believe you did this. That's what it feels like. I can't believe that you did this. So let's take a peek at your love life. And we have one that flipped out. We have the Queen of Coins. So looking at your love-focused relationships, we have someone here who is very abundant, has a potential to be very generous. And Scorpio, I do feel like that's you, that maybe you have been giving to someone, but we have the Lovers in reverse. Okay, so for my Scorpios out there, I do feel like this reading so far is focused on your interpersonal relationships. And just because this is your love position doesn't necessarily mean that it's specifically romantic. I think for a lot of you it is. It could be friendships, you know, with other people. It could be familial relationships, whatever fits your particular situation. But what I see is that there is one entity that's been absolutely generous, that has been willing to give, that is sort of wanted to create this solid foundation on which to build. But we have against that the Lovers in reverse. There's a disconnect that's happening here somewhere in your relationship with another person, where you're sort of wanting to give. They're starting to, it seems like, put distance between themselves and between you. So it might be also a situation where you have been in this sort of generous giving mode, but for whatever reason, if something was revealed to you, then now you're feeling the need to sort of separate yourself from this person and their energy. So I do feel like when it comes to your relationships with other people, someone is going to reveal their true self. And it's going to catch you very much off guard, because up until that point, you didn't necessarily suspect that anything was amiss, that there was something that this person was hiding from you. But it does feel like it's going to be a big enough of a thing that it's going to cause a rift. It's going to cause a separation between the two of you. And even though it might be hard in the moment, I don't necessarily think that it's not for the best for you. Now, when it comes to your finances, we have the Magician in reverse, and the Magician has showed up in quite a few readings. So the Magician, when it's upright, is about, it could be about manipulation, but it can also be about embracing all of the gifts that you have, knowing that you have all of the tools in your kit to accomplish whatever it is that you want to do. So the Magician has, they have the cups, they have the swords, they have the wands, they have the pentacles, they have everything that they need, and they can pick and choose at will whatever it is that they need to accomplish the goal that they have set for themselves. So when we have the Magician in reverse, I almost feel like this is less of a sense of lack or being incapable of something on your part, but I think that this also ties in to things being revealed to you. So whereas upright, this is about manipulation, I think in reverse, it's about sort of being more open. It's about getting clarity, if that makes any sense for you. So I think that also from a financial perspective, you're starting to see things for what they actually are. And let me see if we can clarify that a little bit further. So Scorpios, I almost feel like for a lot of you, this romance and financial are intertwined a little bit. And we have that clarified by the Four of Coins. All right. So when we look at your money, it almost feels as though whomever has been doing this manipulating, if you've been giving to someone or investing in something, It feels as though when this mask slips, you're going to be like, oh, hell to the no, no, and the more no. And you're going to start holding back. You're going to sort of withdraw that support. It's almost like, what's the name of that thing on Netflix? The Tinder swindler. It's that the one who like scams people out of their money. It almost feels as though you have been supporting someone else under the guise of friendship, relationship, family, thinking that you were doing the right thing. And it turns out that they were taking advantage of you. And once that realization comes to light, it's like, oh no, I got to take a step back from this. Like I'm going to hold back until I figure out exactly what's going on. And it feels like this happens like purely through chance. Like as manipulative as this person was, something happens where they slip up. And that mask that they had up, it falls away and you're seeing them for the first time as they truly are. And it's like, oh, nope. That's not what I signed up for. I can't do this. I absolutely cannot do this. So keep an eye out for that, Scorpios. Now, the challenges that might come towards you, as if this wasn't challenging enough, we have the Page of Coins in reverse. So the Page of Coins, when it's upright, is a very naive, it's a very young, immature energy. It's somebody who's not particularly stable, but it's somebody who's coming in offering something. And having this in reverse, it feels as though this is someone who I almost feel has been chipping away little by little for a very long time, where they're not offering anything, but they're consistently taking. And I almost feel like it's gone under the radar for so long because it has been teeny tiny little things. It hasn't been a situation where somebody has come to you and be like, hey, you know what? I got this new idea and I would really love for you to like invest like $50,000 in it. I don't think that's been the case. I think that this has been someone who has, $5 here, $10 there, $100 there, a little bit of your time there. And it's been so relatively small that you may not have noticed how much you were actually giving to this person. So I feel like a little bit of a challenge is recognizing that type of pattern and how it's sort of built up over a period of time. We also have the Knight of Cups and the Hermit to clarify. So I feel like whoever this person was or is was pretty important to you. Particularly with the Knight of Cups. There's nothing that they ever did that was overtly against you. There haven't been any big disagreements or anything like that. But I feel like, again, this comes as such a shock. It's going to be a little bit difficult for you to disconnect and take a little bit time for yourself to process what has happened. And we have that with the Hermit card, somebody who is very much on a solo journey. They're walking through the darkness with just this little lantern in front of them. They're not sure what to do. They're not sure of the next steps, but they're trying to get through as best they can. And so I feel like whenever this dam breaks, you are going to be sort of challenged to think about the totality of your relationship with this person and sort of take the blinders off that you may have had on before and take a little bit of time to yourself to just kind of sit and be like, what the fuck just happened here? And so I think that's going to be a little bit difficult for you because I feel like there's a lot of disappointment in this person. So looking at what's going to flourish during this time period. Let's see if there's something a little bit more. We're not taking all of those. See if there's something a little bit more optimistic that you can lean on that's coming towards you. We have the Ace of Wands. So this is a good start. This is, I think, after you get over the initial shock of whatever it is that's happened. This is you getting your fire back. Like, I'm not taking this shit no more. No. It's almost like I remember who I am. I remember who I am. And I'm not going to be giving to someone who is so disingenuous. And we have the Two of Wands in reverse. So I think that throughout this process over time, because the Two of Wands is really about someone who is trying to make a decision about whether or not they sort of stay where they are, keep things status quo, or if they're ready to venture out into the world and explore new things, try new things, meet new people, all of that good stuff. It's almost like you have the world in the palm of your hand and you're trying to decide which path you take. I think that your resolve and this information that you get from this situation is going to put you in a place where you are not on the fence about what it is that you're going to do going forward. So I think that's what's going to flourish for you over this time period is your certainty and your conviction. And that fire that sort of erupted in you about what it is that you will and won't accept from other people is going to be something that flourishes over this time period as well. So looking at your personal growth, we have the Three of Swords, which is always a little bit of a difficult card, right? Because it really represents disappointment. It represents heartbreak. And so I think for my Scorpio collective out there, you had a lot of faith in this person. You trusted them, which is why you were so giving, which is why you didn't see who they truly were. And I think that this disappointment is going to, even though it's hard in the moment, again, I think it's for the best that you found this out now rather than, going down the road with them any further. And we have that clarified by the Page of Wands in reverse. So again, the Page of Wands, pages are immature cards. They're apprentices. They're still learning. They're still growing. And we have the Page of Wands in reverse for you. And so I feel like there is going to be a different perception of this person that you were involved with in some way, shape, or form. Again, it could be romantic, it could be family, it could be friendship. But I think that this fire that you had for them, this excitement, is going to diminish. And so I think that you growing, even though on the surface it may not sound like a particularly good thing, it's a sign of growth when you're able to detach yourself, when you're able to sort of tamper down your emotions for someone who is not treating you with kindness and consideration that you have been giving to them. So I think that in the midst of this disappointment, you are going to figure out sort of how to wean yourself off of them and dial back your energy and the tangible things that you've been giving to this person. So it feels like it's a little bit of a rough patch for my Scorpios out there, but understand that this is all happening for your longer term benefit. You don't want to keep this leech around you any longer than you have to in order to learn your lesson. So that's what I got from my Scorpio collective. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this reading, and I'll see you in the next one.